Girls 14, 15, and 16 years old sold as sex slaves every day in Austin. One local charity says it helps more than a dozen girls a month.
But that help only goes so far. The teens often end up back on the streets, back in the hands of predators. In a KVUE Defenders investigation, we uncover how those responsible rarely get jail time. Investigative reporter Erica Proffer continues our in-depth sex trafficking series, Selling Girls.
These are the average suburban kids.
They're promising them the world and then delivering them into hell.
Sit your daughter down and let her know. There's people out there really ready to manipulate her.
You know, today's my birthday. When I was 16 years old, I was in a girls' home, and I spent my 16th birthday there, and I was just thinking about it, about how no one celebrated my birth, you know. I used to wear this locket when I was a kid, and I just saw it this morning. You know, I never put a picture in it. It just... Why no picture? I didn't know who to put in. I didn't know who I loved. I didn't know who loved me.
What happened to you?
I was trafficked by family members starting at a very young age in elementary school. I would be in a car taken to, it seemed like was an auto parts store, and that's where they would meet.
This is studied throughout the year and come from a lot of different places.
For the minors, I do know where the increase comes from. Starting in April, the state of Texas began to really pay attention to child sex trafficking. So they really took initiative in bringing all these service providers, first responders at the table.
We're seeing this crosses all socioeconomic classes. This is really anyone that wants to do this can today.
I became a runaway from home when I got older, and I got picked up by a pimp when I was 15 years old. Just out in an apartment complex at the pool waiting for our friends to come home. It seemed safe because there was other girls there my age with them.
Sometimes it's somebody they know might be involved in it, and so they're introduced to it that way. Sometimes they meet other kids who have been surviving through that. Sometimes it's just a matter of proving the elements.
A lot of times they won't tell us the whole story. The detectives have been working really hard in trying to form relationships and really make sure that they sort of build a trust, and so that slowly they can get the story and find out what's been happening to these children.
Why aren't these folks getting jail time?
The first and biggest reason really is based on the victim. It's their story, and if we don't have them there to tell their story, we can't prove it to a jury. And then there are other times, because these same victims are vulnerable, you know, they may have a lengthy criminal history, or they may have a not, you know, clean sexual record.
So you're telling me that a defense would use a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid's sexual history and juvenile crimes to paint that kid as they wanted to be trafficked?
Absolutely. I think they would say that, you know, they knew what they were doing.
They're a kid. I mean, isn't that the purpose of our statutes, is to say they're a minor, they can't make these decisions for themselves?
Absolutely. And that's what we want to get across to juries. Unfortunately, because of that history, though, some people look at them not as victims, but as willing participants.
We find is that our biggest need is safe places for these victims to go.
And I know of 6 girls right now that need a place. Currently, there is no place for these children to go.
So we have a need for housing and counseling that usually goes unmet. When a 15 or 16-year-old has nowhere to go, they're just waiting for the next pimp to come around and find them.
The family called me. They asked if I wanted 50 acres to build a healing community for children.
Walk to that sign.
I think just being here, it's very healing, you know, for me too. To be able to kind of come full circle from being in a place that did not do me any good to coming to a place where I can make it, with the help of all of our team, the best healing place for them as possible.
Our Selling Girls series continues tomorrow night.
We'll show you how a teen's job at a drive-thru went from selling burgers to being sold for sex. It turned into a living nightmare. And that's tomorrow night at 10 on The Night Beat.
And remember, if you have a tip you want the Defenders to investigate, get in touch with us through email, defenders@kvue.com, or our hotline, 512-533-2231, or use the hashtag KVUE.
Coming up, a national